Our guest today is Jim Parkman. This was a huge case. I mean, this was the fourth largest accounting fraud in the history of the United States.
The CEO of HealthSouth, the Fortune 500 healthcare company.
Ferrari Enzo was nearly obliterated in the high-speed crash along the PCH.
Zenvo, ST1, 50S.
He went from being on the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
And it made 3 for the United States.
I'm Bobby Khan, former exotic car dealer turned #1 FBI's most wanted fugitive.
Generally, when you look at the law, 90% of the time it's against you.
The FBI put a $20,000 reward for information into his arrest.
Bobby Khan scammed super rich customers at a New Jersey car dealership.
Join myself and James Parkman, my attorney and best friend, as we have cars, courts, and conversations.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Parkman Khan Unleashed. That's Jim Parkman, and I'm Bobby Khan. And I'm smiling today because today, karma just kicked in, and we're going to enjoy this episode. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. Jim, I'm excited about today's episode because it's an episode about karma. Okay?
Karma.
Okay.
Karma.
So, TD Bank.
Yeah.
Had agreed to pay $3 billion to the feds, one of the largest fines in American history for a big institution, for laundering money for the cartel.
And Mexico.
Wow, right? Oh my God. Like,
now,
how amazing is it? And why is this karma?
But before we get to that, let's talk about, we'll get to the karma part, but let's get to the bank thing.
Yeah, okay, all right, go ahead.
How can you not know?
Well, remember,
money's being laundered.
Their slogan is America's most friendliest bank, you know?
Oh, they are. Real friendly. Sell fentanyl and bring us your money.
Yeah, well, listen, at the end of the day, I have no respect for bankers. I do not. It's big institutions, big banks, I have no respect for. After going through what I went through, I realized that the banking system in this country is such a corrupt system. It's basically, we're taking your money. We're going to do whatever we want from it. If you want your money, you can't have it. We're going to do everything we can to prevent it. But we gave you money, and then we're going to do everything we can to destroy your business, your life, your farm. Oh, and then if we screw up because we made some bad decisions, we're just going to go to the federal government and say, hey, can we get a bailout? And that's how it works. And Uncle Sam hands them more money of taxpayer money so they can go out and continue screwing the public.
Where do you think the fine's coming from?
Of course, the fine's just all they're going to do is take deposits, and here we go. Here's $3 billion. That's all they're doing. And then tomorrow they'll raise fees on everybody. Checking fees are going to go up by $5 a month. This fee is going to go up. Wire transfer fees are going to go up, and they'll make their $3 billion that they have to replenish the accounts back in no time.
Yeah, the article I read was it was hilarious. It was like, well, big banks like TD, big banks have problems, ciphering out what's money laundering, but smaller banks can do that. Really? And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah, okay, you're an attorney, okay? So you're an attorney. If I sat there as a business owner and I said, well, I got a couple employees and it's hard for me to figure out who's laundering money and who's not laundering money, I'm going to prison. These people just write a check, and then they just take other people's money to write that check.
Yeah.
That's it. It's amazing how big corporations can continue to go on and commit crimes in this nation, and it's a slap on the wrist. $3 billion when they did $18 trillion in transactions. 18 trillion was the number that they've done in transactions, okay? And the fine's $3 billion.
That's easy. That's easy.
Right?
Because they're making money off of your money.
How come the CEO and all the people that were involved, why aren't they being carted off to federal prison?
That's the good question. Because here's the truth. If you or I had money laundered drug proceeds through a bank and they found out about it,
we're in federal prison.
Where would we be?
10 years minimum federal prison.
Exactly. And no bond.
Yep, exactly. No bond. You're not getting bailed out. There's no
You're
slap.
not getting out. Have a nice day.
Absolutely. And it's
Yep.
it's funny because they can sit there, a big corporation, and say, well, the person at the top had no clue what's going on down here, right? Okay, so seriously. So why can't I use that excuse when you guys came after me and said, we're going to lock you up? And I'm like, the transactions that happened didn't even happen while I was in the state. They were done by employees or something. I didn't even sign those deals. But okay, but I'm going to prison because my name is on the building. That's how it works. So why this is sweet? Why TD Bank? Okay, I'm not going to go into too many details because we're going to save what happened with my case and the whole story for another segment that we're going to start doing in about another week or so. So TD Bank is a bank that I did business with for years. Before TD Bank, it was Commerce Bank, and then Commerce Bank was bought up by TD Bank, which is a Canadian company. So I've been, I guess, a client of TD's Commerce since I was a kid, 18 years old. I gave them all my business. Okay, not only did I give them my bank deposits on a weekly basis for cars I sold, cars that I were purchased, but they were my finance arm because as a car dealer, you offer financing to clients, and TD Bank was one of the banks that I was sending loans to, and we sent more loans to TD than any other bank because they were an easier bank. They approved basically everybody. And minimum, we were sending TD Bank just in loans alone that we were writing every month, $1 million. This doesn't include the deposits for the dealership. Now, I wasn't selling Toyotas and Hondas. I was selling Bentleys and Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And I was selling a decent amount of cars every month. So you can only imagine the amount of money I gave these people since I was a kid till the day my business shut down.
Yeah.
Now, imagine the amount of money that I gave these people. And I was put in a situation where somebody stole money from me, and I was on the hook. And we sold 5 cars, and the customers financed those 5 cars, and the cars were financed through TD Bank. When I found out, and what happens is when a customer buys a car from the dealership and they finance it, we have 30 days to get, in the state of New Jersey, we have 30 days to get the bank, who's the finance bank, the title with the lien attached that says TD Bank is the finance bank.
Right.
Well, we passed our 30-day mark, and I made the mistake, and I found out, and I picked up the phone, and I called TD and said, hey, I know we owe you titles. There's 5 cars I owe you titles to. We're a little delayed. I need a 30-day extension because I have an incident that happened. TD Bank torpedoed my business. They picked up the phone, they called the feds and said, we smell fraud, and they shut me down. Now, TD Bank that day told me that I can no longer write loans. Now, I'm a car dealer that can't offer financing to clients. TD Bank shut down my bank account. So now I don't have a business account, and I've been doing business with TD my whole life. They also shut down my line of credit. So now I'm a business that has no line of credit. So obviously in a car business, you go through big chunks of cash. You need a lot of cash on hand in order to operate. In 24 hours, they torpedoed my business for $864,000. That's less than 1 week's worth of deposits to these people. Yet these people, and they're all high and mighty, and said, we got to send this big bad car dealer to prison for $864,000. Yet they're laundering money, and they're taking $57,000 in gift card bribes so they can launder $400 million at a time.
Well, let me tell you why.
Hypocrisy at its finest.
No.
What?
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't think it's that. You know what it is? I learned.
Well, no. Do you speak Spanish?
I don't.
There's your problem.
Okay.
You see,
Spanish, I don't sell drugs.
there you go. See,
so
you weren't in the loop. That's the problem.
It's not. It goes further than that. Okay.
I know.
Because like in the last 10 years.
Doing.
In the last 10 years, I've gotten to see a lot of things, okay? And I sat back and I watched. So many people came at me. So many people talked bad about me. So many people were like, well, this guy's such a bad guy and this guy. And I'm like, listen, relax. You know, everybody's got skeletons in their closet. The only difference between me and you is my closet door is wide open and you can see all inside. But yet you guys think it's easier to talk about me and paint me as the bad guy. So this way everybody's focused on me and no one's looking at you. Like, there's people that went on American Greed and talked about me, but did they forget to tell people that they're convicted felons themselves or that they were running some kind of scam? They just, I knew what they were doing, but no, they didn't do that. But they went on TV and said, Bobby Khan's the big bad guy. He stole so much money. And when all this happened, first off, because you know the indictment.
Yeah.
I was screaming from the top of top of every building. The indictment is wrong. They're alleging it was $1.6 million, and it's not $1.6 million. And they kept going to the press about he stole $1.6 million and he owes the bank $1.6 million. And I said, you don't even understand the car business. And that was the problem I had with the FBI, and that's what the problem I had with the U.S. Attorney's Office. I said, you don't understand motor vehicle laws. The $1.6 million is not accurate. I said from day one, I'm behind $864,000 to the bank. The other $800,000 you're speaking of those were cars that were sold to customers in the state of New York. New York State has up to 6 months to get the bank the lien. And we did the paperwork. But however, the 6 months hadn't happened. And I kept saying that. So what happened is after I left the country, and now I'm considered a fugitive, what happened? TD Bank mysteriously received the liens for $800,000 worth of cars. So when I came home after 5 years, what did TD Bank say? TD Bank said, oh, yeah, no, he only owes us $864,000. Exactly what I said from day one. All I wanted was an extension. If you would have given me 30 days, I would have paid you guys off. I'd still be in business. I wouldn't have had to go to prison, become a fugitive, and destroy my life and my reputation. And it's so nice to know that today, the bank that labeled me a criminal and a fraud was laundering money for the cartel.
Yep.
The cartel that sells fentanyl, that sells heroin, that sells cocaine, that kills people. This is blood money you're laundering. How many people lost their loved ones to fentanyl overdoses or this? And these bankers, no, it's, people are going to say, well, it's just laundering money. Where did the money come from? I'm not sitting here to be self-righteous or anything, but the money is drug money. It's blood money. And they got a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
Glad what happened is they also got their punishment is they got a cap put on them. So now they can't expand. If they want to even open one branch, the federal government has to approve it.
Yeah. Well, to me, that still isn't sufficient.
Oh, it's not.
And going back, to where your problem came in, let me ask you another question. We know you don't speak Spanish anymore, but let me ask you this. When you fled the country, did you go to Mexico?
No.
Okay. Well, see, there's your next problem.
I went to Abu Dhabi.
So if you'd have gone there, see, you'd have been all right. The
really?
bank would have just said, hey, we're sorry for your problems.
Yeah, exactly. That's
have a nice day.
We'll give you another
you're down there. You're down there with them. Have a nice day. See you later.
No, but that gets me, okay? So they don't do anything. They're allow people to launder money. But now you see that it went down the food chain. From the top guy down to the clerks at the bottom, they knew about what was happening. They had internal jokes about it, about being called America's most convenient bank. And even the tellers were taking gift cards as bribes. There was one instance where a bunch of people took $57,000 worth in order to run $400 million through the bank without filling out any forms.
Well, let me tell you what that does now. Let's take it a step. Let's take it a step farther. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Next time I have a money laundering accusation attached to an indictment, I'm going to go, whoa, don't blame the individual. You need to go to the bank and get $3 billion from them because that's what you did before, and nobody got punished.
Exactly.
So,
no, it's easy to put. It's easy to put the average guy in prison because the average guy doesn't have the resources to fight. Okay?
Right.
TD Bank has a legal team that's probably 200 people.
Well, and the assets that are available. And, the bank can't, the feds can't close that bank down.
No, because so many people are attached to it.
Right.
There's business attack, individuals, they can't do that. But they could punish the people that are in charge. They could sit there and grab the CEO and say, It has happened on your watch, like we do to any other business owner that goes to prison. If something happens on their watch, you're going to prison too, because at the end of the day, you're captain of the ship.
There's something we need to look for too. You know, the company, TD Bank, didn't make any statements really, other than later in the week we're going to talk to the stockholders.
Yes, correct.
Okay. I want to know where that goes.
Yep,
now,
of course.
If I was a stockholder, okay, I'd be going, I want all management fired.
All management fired, and
all management
paid,
I want it cleaned.
should be clawed back. Anything that was paid to these employees should be clawed back. They shouldn't.
And what's interesting to me is the government, from what I've read so far, maybe it did, I don't know. But for so far, the government said, you know, we're going to fine you this, but everybody in management, and here are the names, they have to be fired.
Yeah.
No golden parachutes.
No, nothing.
No. They're gone. That's got to be done.
It has. You know, like right now, there's a casino in Las Vegas right now, Resorts World, the new casino that opened up, right?
Yeah.
They were they've been scandal plagued since they opened, okay? So you know that baseball player, Otani or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
The whole case that happened, well, his guy ran money through through Resorts World. And the guy that ran it through, the bookie, who was a convicted felon, who was in the book because for bookmaking and stuff like that, he shouldn't have been allowed to place any bets. The casino knew about it, allowed it. They did what they had to do. And what the Casino Control Commission is going to do now is they recommended that there's going to be two options that are going to happen. Either they're going to take the casino license from Resorts World, or they're going to force all management to be fired, which is right. Fire the management, hit them with a big fine, and now you get new people in, or revoke their license. This should be the same thing. We're going to force you to sell, or we're going to sit there and the entire corporate governance, everything has to be fired. Everyone's got to go, fresh start.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just done it's not done in the business world. It's done in sports.
Yeah.
If a coach is involved in illegal something, okay,
he's
first
banned.
thing they say is coach got to go.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just part of it. We're not going to leave that there.
Yeah.
We got to clean. We got to clean.
They took my dealer license and they said,
there you go.
I can't have a dealer license for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye. Because we're not going to allow that to continue.
People
like
are still allowed to run the bank tomorrow. And the CEO said he's not going to step down for another year. Another year. You still get a paycheck for another year.
Yeah. And let's take it a step further. Let's go a step further. You've got employees, allegedly, who received basically what is known as kickbacks for taking sums in and not reporting it on the financial forms, right?
Yep. So that's tax fraud.
What if they didn't declare it? But here's the next problem. That's not the next problem. Those are illegal. Those are illegal payments. It's coming from an illegal source.
Of course.
So why don't they go back to everybody and go, okay, you took $10,000 in order to turn your head. Right. Give us the cash, $10,000.
Well, exactly.
Out of your pocket. Out of your pocket.
Yeah. Now, see, it's like, so this is my problem with the justice system. Justice is not blind, okay? It's looking, and it decides who it's going to go after. So, for example, I had a client of mine who was a big-time attorney down in Florida. He defended a lot of cartel guys, whatever not. And one day, I get a phone call. His cars happen to be in my showroom, and the feds are there picking up the cars. So I find out, so what happened is that the feds went to him and said, by the way, a lot of clients that you defended paid you, and you can't declare what the source of funds were, so we're taking the money back, and since you don't have all the cash, we're taking your cars.
Yeah.
They can do that with attorneys. They can do that with a small business. Why not big banks? Right? Like Wells Fargo is another bank that completely screwed people over. They were creating fake bank accounts, and they were, created fake bank accounts, and they were paying their employees bonuses based off of how many accounts were open. Everybody knew about it, and they kept doing that. That's fraud. If I did that, if I did something like that, if I owned an insurance company and I created fake policies, or if I owned anything, I'm sitting in federal prison for 10 to 15 years. Wells Fargo had to pay a $2 billion fine. That's it. $2 billion is nothing.
Well, but you see, when they put out a press release, and said the banks fined $3 billion. They go, wow.
We beat our chest.
Whoa, that's punishment.
Yeah.
Not when your assets are greatly exceed anything.
$3 billion sounds like a lot of money to you and I, okay?
Right.
But
that's right.
Corporation that when you look at the numbers, it said in the press release also that they ran $18 trillion through their bank.
So why aren't they taking back $18 trillion?
Well, forget that. Why not? You know, a punishment should like the judge said to me, and the judge says to most people, the punishment must suit the crime.
Right.
$3 billion for a big corporation like this is a drop in the bucket. It's not. It's a slap on the wrist. That's all it is.
Look, let's put it like this. Somebody comes to you and says, "Here's what we're going to do. Okay, here's your future. We're going to give you $18 trillion. The government's going to get mad at you, and they're going to come after you, and they're going to fine you $3 billion, and that's all that's going to happen to you."
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Anybody would do it. Be like, okay, it's a slap.
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, do it again. You go $3 billion. Let's make it 6.
Yeah.
I'll give him another 3. I'll give him another 3 just to.
And then our system is so screwed up that the same bank in 5 years from now, if the economy crashes, is going to go to D.C. and say, "Hey, you know what? We're going to fold, and if we fold, thousands and thousands of people will be unemployed. We need you to do us a favor. Give us a bailout." And guess what? Politicians are going to write them a check, bail them out, and it's going to start all over again. I couldn't go to the governor or my senator and say, "Hey, guess what? My business is in trouble. I need a bailout." They would have laughed at me.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
No. We have to figure out how to survive. We have to figure out how to win. But these big companies, they screw up, and then they have to go and say, "Oh, hey, mommy, can you help me? Can you take care of me?" That's what it is. They go to mommy and daddy because they donated money to mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
So, I was happy to see that article today because you know what? For 10 years, TD Bank destroyed my life, and I sat back and, I can't curse on this because it's YouTube, but karma comes back to bite you in the ass.
Boy, it does, doesn't it? Yep. It'll bite you big time if you're not careful.
Absolutely. And I've seen that with a lot of people, not even just corporations, but a lot of people that came at me in the last 10 years, karma's come back. Either they lost their homes, they lost their businesses, or something. So, but...
or get dirty phone calls all the time about you're late on your payment. And
listen, I don't feel bad for these banks because, look, how many farmers did they put out of business? How many farms did they foreclose on? How many homes did they foreclose on? How many businesses did they screw over, like myself, where they took their lines of credit from them, where they...
And during the time they're doing that, they're raking in money.
Everything.
From a drug operation.
Absolutely. I mean...
And turning their head and saying, we don't care.
We don't care. But yet, they're going to go after the single mother that can't make her car payment on
That's
a
right.
Civic of $300 a month, and they're going to repossess her car in 3 months' time, right? Or
That's right.
That he's got a struggling farm, and he's behind on his loan. They're going to foreclose on his farm.
Yeah.
And, so, like, it was kind of funny, and I'm saying this today, when you have to sit there and you have to apologize in front of the judge and grovel for mercy and all that stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I at that point, I'm looking at it, and I said to my wife, I said, "You want me to apologize to a bank that I feel bad that this bank screws the American public every day, and you want me to sit there and be apologetic?" I said, "I can't do that. I can't sit there and be apologetic." And the other lawyer was like, "No, you have to. And I'm like, "Whatever, write something up for me. I'm not doing it." And
Well, and then of course, unfortunately at the time of sentencing, you didn't know about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
But because they kept they kept all this quiet.
Yeah, Your Honor. Yeah, you were putting me in prison for $800,000, but yet they're laundering money for
$13 trillion, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, please say. And that's the thing. There's so much hypocrisy in this world. Everybody sits there and says, "I'm so great. I'm a great person. We're a great corporation." Everybody's got their hand in something.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I never will sit there and say I'm a saint. I'm not a saint. But don't come at me and try to pretend like you're a saint.
And don't come back and fool the American public by saying we didn't know this was going on.
You knew what was going on. It doesn't happen.
You got fined $3 billion if you didn't know what was going on.
Jimmy, if you walked into a bank tomorrow and you and I tried doing a transaction, they're gonna look at every little thing. They're gonna be like, no, this is wrong and that's wrong. Of course, no. But if I walked in with $400 million in cash and said, hey, by the way, I'm gonna give you guys $57,000 in gift cards so you can go shopping. Will you pass my $400 million to? Yes, sir. But a real person goes to the bank and says, hey, I want to withdraw $10,000. Why do you need it? Well, it's my money. Why do I need? You got to fill this out. You got to fill that out. It's like I want to get my own money from the bank and I have to beg to get my own money back.
Now here's what we don't know. Ready? Money laundering is where you're taking bad money, putting it in a legitimate fund, and then withdrawing the legitimate funds back out.
So how much of a profit did they make on it too?
Or how much have they paid? How much did they keep? And how much did they pay out and who to?
Exactly. Because I didn't hear about anybody else being caught.
Oh, no, you didn't hear about, by the way, we kept $1 trillion and sent another several trillion to Mexico.
When you launder money, you obviously, these banks or whoever's laundering the money obviously takes a cut. So what was their cut?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you want to bet that it may be a little bit higher.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit higher. They didn't do it for free.
Yeah.
So.
Can you imagine a teller, somebody walking in and going, oh, okay, I've got to deposit $400 million.
Yeah.
And they go, okay, great. Yeah. And so I'll take it. So they take it, and then they run over to the branch manager, and they go, I just got a $400 million deposit. I'm taking the rest of the day off. Have a nice day.
But
by the way, I expect a parking place in the front, employee of the month. I just got $400 million.
$400 million between New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania branches.
Yeah. I want my parking place, and I may be late tomorrow.
Let me tell you something. And here's how I can tell you that everybody knew about this. If somebody brought in $400 million between 3 different branches, right, or 4 different branches, or whatever it is, 10 different branches, everybody knows about it. Okay, I had somebody in 2008. One of the members of the royal family of Saudi Arabia bought a brand new Rolls-Royce drop-head Phantom for me. Okay, the car was brand new. The car sticker price was $500,000. I charged him $100,000 over sticker. He wanted it. And he wanted the car airlifted because he did not want to wait. So he paid a $30,000 airlift fee to me as well. So he wires the money. I get a call from TD Bank. Can you tell us why you got this much money from Saudi Arabia? Well, why? I fucking sell cars. Well, it's 500 and something. Or it was $600,000. I said I sold a Rolls Royce. Before they released my money, they wanted me to provide them correspondence between me and his clients. They wanted me to provide the purchase order, the title, and a picture of the car in order for them to release my money that was coming to me for the sale of a car. And that was only $600,000. Somebody comes in with $400 million and you don't look and you don't ask, come on, please.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean, and how much was it? 13, 18 trillion?
Yeah, so they said they didn't say it was 18 trillion that was run through the cartel stuff, but they said they've run $18 trillion through their bank in transactions. Now, who knows how many billions upon billions it was for the cartel?
Yeah, because they're not going to tell you that.
Yeah, because one transaction that they showed was 400 million, so it wasn't chump change.
No, no. Just one deposit of 400 million is, and in reality, the bank ought to have to give back any ill-gotten proceeds from illegal. Yeah, and
they get a loss. They should pay the fine plus any ill-gotten gains.
That's right.
Yeah,
but
they won't do that.
No.
Listen, if they would have came to me and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to let you stay in business, and you got to pay $1 million fine because I'm going to say, fine. Where do I sign? I'll pay the $1 million fine. Give me a time frame of how I got to pay it, and we'll figure it out."
Right.
Nope, they didn't want to do that. I had to fire my employees. I had to shut down my business. I had to do everything, destroy my life, and go to federal prison.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know,
TD Bank, you got what was coming to you. I hope you go out of
well, but not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough necessarily.
Yeah. I hope one day they go out of business.
I would like to know the rest of the story. I would like to know how much was actually put through there.
Well, you and I both know that all their lawyers sat with the DOJ.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this was a worked out deal.
This is a worked out deal and said, okay, we're only going to put out one press release, and then after that, it goes away. We don't talk about it ever again.
Yeah. And I'd like to know this, too, because I've seen it, okay? But I'd like to know if the government said to TD Bank, we're going to fine you a bunch of money, or else we're going to indict your CEO, your CFO, so forth. And if you don't pay it, I'd like to know that. If that was on the if that was on the table.
Oh, I'm sure it was, because that's how they got. They would rather sit there and say we collected a $3 billion fine than say we sent this guy to prison. It only makes for great headlines when you send somebody to prison that would get you some catchy headlines or something like that. Oh, celebrity car dealer goes to prison, or this baseball player is going to prison, or whatever. That's different because they know they're not getting $3 billion from somebody like me.
Right.
Yeah. So it's all about this at the end of the day.
It is, and it's about who you are, and who you know, and who you are, and you know, and that's a shame, but it's a perfect example. And
I would like to hear from you if you got any banking stories, because you know what? Now that we touched on this on another episode, like next week when we're back, because I'm traveling tomorrow, as you know, I want to talk about what banks do, right? Like, for example, I read a story yesterday about Barron Trump. Barron Trump wasn't allowed to open a bank account because of who he is. The bank denied him a bank account, okay?
Yeah.
And I've experienced that. So, and I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about which two banks wouldn't allow me to open a bank account because of what my name is. And remember...
Well, you're really upset about this, aren't you?
Oh, my God. Tell me about it.
Okay. I'll just check it.
I have a personal vendetta with banks.
Boy, don't you ever.
Oh, my God. Yep. I don't trust them. I don't like bankers. You know, I hope there's a nice place in hell for all these bankers. So,
boy, you know, you're an angry little elf, aren't you?
You have no idea.
I don't. I just learned it. Wow, man. Well, listen, this is great talking to you. Good. Safe travels to you. Okay.
Thank you very much. I wish you were. I wish you would be there, but
I wish I could. But I got to do some business, and I appreciate it. And but safe travels to you, and have fun. And
hope you enjoy your barbecue.
Send me the pictures.
Absolutely.
Maybe we ought to do an episode from there.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do an episode from there. I'll do that.
Let's do something. Cool. Okay. And while you're there, you know, you messed up. If they've been following, they know about my baby blue car.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Come back.
Thank you.
Make sure you comment and share and watch all the other episodes, because we just uploaded a bunch of episodes. I know we're just starting off, but stay tuned for a weekly episode. There's going to be all kinds of fun. Thanks.
Have fun.
Be good.
Good.